This week's cold case is on siblings Diane Moon and Mark Yoli. Diane Moon and her brother Mark Yoli set off to play at a nearby park in Jacksonville, North Carolina on September 13, 1962, and were never seen again. But as always, let's see what was happening in 1962. John F. Kennedy was our 35th president. The famous Marilyn Monroe sang Happy Birthday to our president in May of 1962. The first communication satellite, Telstar, was launched by AT&T in July of 1962. The now popular Christmas song, Do You Hear What I Hear, debuted in 1962. The cartoon TV show The Jetsons debuted September 23, 1962. But 10 days prior, on September 13, 1962, siblings Diane and Mark set off to play at a nearby park, never to be seen again. Diane was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed 7-year-old girl in 1962. Her stepfather was a Lance Corporal Marine stationed at Camp Lejeune. Her half-brother Mark, who had brown hair and brown eyes, was only 2 years old. On September 13, 1962, around 3:15 p.m., the two kids, Diane, which was dressed in a printed shirt and shorts, and Mark wearing a t-shirt and brown shorts, left their home in the 700 block of Butler Drive, which was on base housing at Camp Lejeune in Jacksonville, North Carolina. They left their home to go to a nearby park. Their mother didn't worry much, as the kids often wandered off to play. She felt safe living on base housing. All the neighbors looked out for each other, and they all knew Diane, as she was a friendly child, always saying hi to everyone. Often when neighbors saw them outside, they would instruct the kids to go home. Even on one occasion, a neighbor even found Diane napping in their car and escorted her home. But on September 13, 1962, no one saw them. That night and the next day, 250 Marines searched for the children. They assumed the children had wandered off into the woods nearby. But by the third and fourth day, more than 1,200 men were searching, combing hundreds of acres of woodland and residential areas with no trace of the children. Friends, family, neighbors just could not believe 2 children could just disappear without a trace. After many days of searching, the search was called off, with no answers. On September 15, 1962, a lead came in. A woman that owned a barbecue restaurant saw a picture of Mark from local news and stated she could not make a positive identification, but that Mark looked a lot like a child that came in with a group of gypsies on September 15, 1962. She said he was dressed differently than in the picture, not neat. He had on loose clothes that were too big for him, and he was crying and was not eating with the other children. There is a man that police believe is a suspect. In 1992, Henry Hunt, a convicted child predator, became a suspect when his dying wife confessed to her daughter that her husband, Henry, who died a year earlier, had told her he had taken the children from the park and took them fishing. She claimed that Mark fell out of the boat and drowned, and he panicked and strangled Diane to cover it up and took the bodies to a mine shaft in Maysfield, North Carolina. In 2011, bones were found under Henry Hunt's former home, which had been demolished. While these were initially assumed to belong to Diane and Mark, further testing revealed that they were not actually human. It was decided that there was no point in searching the mine shaft that Henry Hunt claimed to have disposed of the children, as it had changed many times over the last 50 years. Diane Moon and Mark Yoli's case remains unsolved. Diane would now be 68 years old, and this is what they believe she would look like today. Mark would be 63, and this is what they believe he would look like today. If anyone has any information about Diane and or Mark, please call the Onslow County Sheriff's Office at 910-455-3113. If you like this video, give it a like. Also, follow and or subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Make sure to check out our shorts and reels as we post daily. And if you have a cold case that you want covered, be sure to let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.